yes, you are in the middle.
With pleasure.
Of course, there is no option, no other option.
Okay.
Let me check.
А тут мікрофон уже
Працює.
працюють? Мікрофон.
Працює?
Працюють. Нічого сказати.
Là, on fait le. On peut lancer quand on veut. Good evening, everybody. I don't know whether online they listen, they hear us? Super, but we don't hear them, I guess. No, okay. So they hear. So we're gonna start. So, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, dear members of the French-Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce, dear friends here in Kyiv and a lot of you online, thank you for connecting. We will have tonight a lot of people online. It's very important. Thank you for this new episode of... sorry, some connection problem. Thank you for this new episode of our conferences. It's very, very important on a regular basis to connect on different topics. And tonight, I would say we're going to talk about the hottest topic of the moment. Unfortunately, since few months or years, since 2 years. But now it's becoming one of the #1 priorities. This is about energy, because energy drives everything, drives our lives, drives the economy, drives the capabilities of the armed forces of Ukraine also to defend our country. So it's very important. And with us tonight, we have a super privilege to have with us Burmistenko. Voilà. We will do it in English, but Yulia speaks a perfect French. But because of Mikhailo, maybe we will do it in English. So yeah, Yulia is the head of international affairs of DTEK. And of course, we will not present anymore our member, dear member, Mikhailo Bubnov, who is the general manager of Schneider Electric Ukraine. So we decided today with you to discuss about this topic and to capitalize on the very big chance we have to have our two speakers because they are in a different role, but they are prominent actors in the sector of the energy, of course, and they will share with us of course, their feedback, their experience, and maybe also their common story, because you will see they sign partnership, I would say, or joint agreement. They will explain this. Energy is critical. Of course, when you live in Kyiv, when you live in Ukraine, you feel it. Despite the fact that, touch wood, nowadays, you don't feel it so much, but there is maybe a big discrepancy because between what you feel on a daily day, I would say every day when you are in Kyiv or in the big cities. Since 2 months, it's, touch wood, okay, but we know that winter is coming. We know that it will be very difficult, even more difficult than 2 winters ago. Last winter it was okay, but 2 winters ago it was super difficult. So it's really critical, and we need to be ready, and we will see what are the solutions, what we have to do to cope with this big problem. You know that since the full-scale invasions, one of the direct aspects and consequences of this full-scale invasion is a massive destruction of the energy infrastructure distribution network. It's difficult to estimate. We will see with our guest, but we are talking about 50 to 60 billion US of damages and so on. You follow the news, and we see that in fact we had very strong damages in the thermal power plant. We had one of the nuclear one, which is seized, the hydro and everywhere. So it's a big impact, and it's important to see what we have to do, what are the consequences, what we can do. So I will not be super long, because it's not me. It's not for me that you are here. It's to listen to our guests, and maybe for two of you, maybe the first questions I would ask to you, in fact. It's okay. Given the size of the damages, in fact, we have talking about those big damages in the sector. What, in fact, what do you think that we can do? What the country can do to meet the needs, because the needs will increase. First for the winter, but of course for the rebuilding, the resilience and the rebuilding of the country. What would be, in fact, the immediate actions to be taken? So maybe we can start with this, with you, Julia, after with you, Michaelo.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, first of all, thank you. Second, I wanted to say why I am here, and I'm here because of the partnerships. And I can say that in terms of energy, this war was very difficult to win without those partnerships. I would even say it would be impossible to win and to restore without the partnerships. So financing is very important, but partnerships and true friends really do matter, and that's why I'm here. And because Schneider Electric was really the first one, the first mover who helped DTEK when the war started. It was at the beginning of March, when the World Economic Forum organized for the Ministry of Energy, for Naftogaz, a kind of an event, and called all IFIs and major actors, major members, and there was a call for us to explain what was going on. And we've got immediately Schneider Electric on the line at the level of vice president, saying, how can we help? And very shortly we had like lots of trucks and deliveries to Ukraine, and these deliveries helped us to restore what was damaged in the first months of the war, when there was invasion from the north to the Kyiv Oblast, etc. So thank you very much again. We value true friends, we value partnerships, and I think this is the way to win this war. What needs to be done? Our enemy is very unpredictable. So if you think, for example, that the winter will be difficult, your enemy would be thinking, what can I do in a different way? Yeah. So for example, we were counting to have a very difficult winter last winter, and it was sort of like more or less okay. If you talk about DTEK, we had, I cannot give you the numbers, it's not allowed, but we had like that amount of power plants working in terms of gigawatt after the end of the winter. And suddenly they started shelling when everyone thought the winter is over and now we're all fine. So they started in March, and then they continued till the end of August. And they destroyed really at the point of beginning of summer. We were at, if you compare like with this, we were at this point minus 90% of our capacities. So 90% was destroyed, and it was very difficult to bring it back, and the time was very limited. So what did we do? We took some very important decisions to dismantle one of the power plants almost on the front line. So we brought this equipment to the West without saying anything to anyone. Otherwise, we would have been our plants would have been destroyed. Then we received assistance from the West. Used equipment all over Europe. There are a lot of power plants which are being closed, dismantled. So this transfer of equipment is being organized through the Ministry of Energy. We are also in very good partnership with them. So, for example, the way it works, we have mobile groups in Western Europe, we're in Eastern Europe, and we can go overnight to like Bulgaria or Poland or whatever, and visit a power plant which is being closed, make a list of the equipment which is available, give it back to the ministry then sends it to all market participants, says who needs what, and then everyone ticks the boxes, and then the working group in the ministry takes the decision who receives what. And this works really well. Yeah, so we received this equipment, then we received financing from the US government, we received financing from the European Commission, and we are partnering on a bilateral basis with different companies. So we managed to restore 100% of what we promised, and it's 70% of what was destroyed. And we are now at the level of confidence that, let's assume there are no strikes, nothing, then we will go through winter quite smoothly. Also due to the fact that ENTSUI, European System Operators, they took this very important decision to give additional 400 megawatts to the Ukrainian power system so that we can go through the winter. What is 400 megawatts, for example? It's very important. It's like 1 gigawatt, if it's not in the system, it's 4 hours of absence of electricity in your sockets all over Ukraine for all household consumers. So 400 megawatt means probably like 2 hours. So they just give to every one of us 2 hours of electricity in our yeah. So it's huge, it's important, and each megawatt matters. Thank you, Mikhailo. I'm passing the baton to you.
Yeah, Mikhailo. Impressive. Thank you, Julia. Impressive because I was not aware of some of your details you mentioned. It's very fascinating how you managed to adapt to the situations through agility and through a partnership, in fact. And Mikhailo, what's your feedback? And because you had your own continuity of operation problem, and you had also to take care of your customers.
Yeah, I would like, first of all, thank you for the invitation. Thank you that you join us in this French community. For us, it's, as a French company, very important that we have worked already more than 30 years in Ukraine, and the challenges which we have in our country for the last 30 years really impact to our actual operations. And if you say some words about the partnership, it's very good that from the beginning was a full invasion, and after your meeting in forum in Davos, we also try to find the reliable partner for deliver help to Ukraine. And only one organization who can very quick organize the necessary paperwork also who is open from the technical organization point of view, but also human point of view, it was the DTEK. And the reason why we start to cooperate immediately in March 2022, because it's openness of and readiness for the common goals and common understanding what is necessary today, not in few months, but even today, what is really necessary. And with the DTEK, we are really help to our deoccupied territory in end of the March, beginning of the April, all of this Bucha, Irpin, it was restored based on our equipment with our common equipment. We cannot devise this. And it was the beginning of our very close partnership. It's, okay, friendship, let's say in this way, because I'm sure that all the businesses and all the deliver some value based on the very good relationships and partners, friendships for me is the same. It's a start from the very close cooperation to rebuild Ukraine, and the next step was how we can go further, go forward with our ideas to organize the necessary delivery of electricity, energy to the customer, for the private customer, but also for the industry. It's what not so clear topic 2 years ago, how it will be going on. You mentioned that in the winter of 2022 it was challenging a little bit, yeah. 2023 we passed without any problematic, but in that time, when I discuss in a lot of platforms around Europe, the people say, yeah, we just finished the war. How it's 2-3 weeks or 2-3 months, or now it's already 2-3. Yeah. It's now we are already in a situation when we 2-3 years, and the situation will be not change dramatically for the next 1-2 years. And for us, it's really not the challenge, but it's our ongoing responsibility, how to organize the support of future of Ukraine. Not after our winning of the war, but what we can do now. And without the close cooperation between the really market leaders, and DTEK is definitely market leader in Ukraine for energy distribution and energy generation, we try to support Ukraine even now. And our common decision is that we need to start to rebuild Ukraine, let's say in this way, or build up the new Ukraine now, not just waiting for the 1, 2, 3 months or years, even now. We have all opportunity. And from the market, we have a huge demand or expectation from us. An expectation based that how you can organize the energy supply today during the winter time, during the war. It's a clear, absolutely understanding question to all of the market leaders. And it's, I think, 3 parts of this. First part, of course, how we will generate, and a big work done by DTEK to restore the generation, and also our forces to protect existing, still not damaging generation facility, nuclear thermal power plants, also hydro power plants. It's one topic. Second topic, of course, it's how we deliver this energy to the customers. Private customers, cities, municipal, water supply, thermal supply, all the customers and who consumes the electrical energy. But I think third, which very important topic, how to organize a more efficient consumption of this energy, because we are limited in generation. Probably with the more attack of Russia, we will be limited in deliver electricity, and we must be efficient in consumption of this electricity. Maybe you know, maybe not, that Ukraine consumes around 5 times more energy for €1 GDP comparing with the average in Europe. 5 times. Not some percentage, 5 times. And these 3 directions, generation, distribution, and efficient consumption of electricity, is absolutely goal to build up future of Ukraine. Not just from energy supply future of Ukraine, but simply to organize a normal life during the war in Ukraine, we need to be efficient. How we need to be efficient, also based on the partnership, and we can discuss and say some words further.
Yes, thank you. Because you've seen that at the very beginning of the full-scale invasion, you had super fast reactions, connections. You you connected, and it's, as you mentioned, you sign after a kind of agreement, partnership, and so on. What can you tell us about this? What is new? Cooperation is very important, and what can you share with us? What is the innovative ideas of this cooperation between two of you? If you can.
Of course, it's not a big. It's what I already say, that we as a technology company who's really expert in energy distribution and all the digital, we have an idea of energy, energy, how to say the digital energy. Yeah? We know how operates the energy. We just shift, switch on or switch off the electricity, but how it organizes a more efficient delivery and consumes the energy.
Through digitalization.
Absolutely, you know this, yeah? It's so simple, and we already work in digital world. And how to organize this efficiency, just to provide for our partner, leader of the market, solutions, technological solutions, which we promote really around the world. It's a digital solution. And our common work, our common goal, to help each other, common work to build up the new digital future energy digital landscape in Ukraine, based on the really age technologies. And these age technologies necessary with the digital energy, also the data centers, all the digital, even in your house. I'm sure that in 1-2 years you will just see this digital counter, which will be immediately send the information to the DTEK, probably, I don't know, to other utilities. And even you can, in the future, from your phone, really understand who's the more consume energy, electrical energy at your home. All of this is digital technology which we would like to provide for our customers, different kind of customers, and of course, the biggest our customer in Ukraine is company DTEK.
So this partnership, this agreement is based around innovation, digitalizations, and it allows your client, DTEK, to accelerate the digitalizations process, if I understand well.
I think the main idea is that I think the basic idea is that our common goal, not, and it's very simple to say, okay, we have a destroyed transformator, of course, you know the big stuff which you can see in the Kontraktova square. And but what is our goal? What is our idea? We would like to replace the old equipment to the same old equipment? No, definitely no. We need to, even today, not waiting for the end of the war, we need focus today to deliver the age technologies even now, because it's help us today to be the more efficient, and if we're more efficient, we are more resistant to the invasion, and we're more resistant from the different. If we decrease the consumption even in this hotel, we can give this additional saved energy to some industry or the hospital or schools. And this is our idea. This is it's really what it motivates us. It's not just digital. What is the reason why we would like to implement it? It's a build up the secure future of our Ukraine based on age digital technologies. Please.
Yes, let me explain it from another point of view. So we are now in mid-war with the Russian Federation. When the war is over, Russian Federation will still be our neighbor. And this neighbor is crazy by definition, right? So we have to prepare today for the future life with this neighbor, with unexpected, unpredictable behavior. So now we're surviving. We're restoring the systems that we have so that people can get electricity, right? But in the future, when the war is over, we have to build a completely new energy system, completely new one, decentralized and green, with new grids and all new technologies. So in Ukraine, I think we will test all new available technologies in the world and then choose the best, and then these solutions will be replicated everywhere in the world. We will just have this luxury of doing this because almost everything is destroyed. We have to build it, especially given that we have this type of neighbor.
Yeah, it's very, very important what you said, in fact, and in your sector, in the energy sector, unfortunately it's obvious that we will not rebuild. You will not rebuild as it was. So no. The country has a unique opportunity, if we can say this, to change totally the technology and maybe also the strategy of production and maybe distribution. You talk about decentralization also. That means it will be a long-term strategy, of course. But at the same time, so it's a long-term vision. But at the same time, we have urgent things to do, because we need to manage a tension between urgency of the resilience, the continuity of life, and rebuilding, reconstruction, and so. Is it difficult to manage between, we need to do something, even if it's not permanent, immediately to ensure production, distribution of electricity, maybe, and at the same time we need to invest and to develop new concept, new strategy, new technology, which may require more time, but we need to do it for the future. So do you have a kind of tension between urgency of now and what is needed to be done on the long term to be more innovative, more digital, more green, more secure, more decentralized?
You just need to have enough people to be able to do it, and fortunately we have 55,000 people in DTEK, so we can manage this task. But what you say is really very important. So by restoring destroyed traditional generation now and grids, what we do, we just win the time. Because Russians will keep attacking, they will keep bombarding, etc. And in the end, please don't quote me, but they will be successful. Why? Because the efficiency of air protection system ranges like from 30 to 70%, and if you continue doing this, you will in the end be like successful, right? So by restoring, we're just winning the time. And by winning the time, we're in parallel building a completely new decentralized system. Why I'm talking about decentralized? Because, of course, decentralized greens, that's the imperative of today. That's climate obligations which we have to respect. But it's energy security, and we have felt it on our skin. For example, if you take a traditional power unit, thermal power, like 200 megawatt, you need one missile, well, basically two. With one missile, you just hit the roof, and you do not yet destroy the roof. But with the second missile, Russians hit the same point, and then they destroy. So you need two missiles to destroy the power unit, traditional one. If you talk about wind generation, the same 200 megawatt, you need 33 times more missiles to hit each and every tower of like 6 megawatt wind tower. So that's one. Secondly, if you try to destroy the transformer, like the unit which like gives power to the grid, in the traditional situation, when you destroy the transformer, it's unique. It takes you 8-9 months to produce a new one. Because it's unique, because it's not available, it's really 8 months minimum. If you do the same with 200 megawatt of wind and solar, and it happened to us this summer, what you do, you just restore it in 3 to 5 days, because these transformers are available in the grids nearby. So renewables and decentralized renewables are the solution for the future if you have a crazy neighbor. And maybe it's a lesson learned not only for Ukraine, but for a number of other countries who have such problems with neighbors. Create energy systems which the enemy is not able to destroy like with 1 or 2 hits.
But does it mean we will never rebuild again big energy infrastructure
We
project,
will
whatever, hydro?
We will decentralize. I think it will be a balance. Well, it's a question maybe to the ministry, but distribute as much as you can, because that's your resilience.
And this will be for the long term. Huh? It will be...
We don't have the time. Yeah. We have to do it now.
I don't know what you say about the long term. We have not the time even today. Long term is how many months? Okay?
How many minutes?
Minutes, yes. And to support our, you know this, I think the general view about the future energy landscape in Ukraine, it's absolutely in the professional community, more or less, we understand each other. The decentralization, the consumption, digitalization of the energy, it's absolutely basic things. And it's very important, it's really supported on all possible levels. In Ministry of Energy with Gerashenko and his Roman Andarak and all of this good teams, they fully understand the concept, and on all the levels of energy community, we understand that decentralization, digitalization, and of course sustainable generation is a very important topic. As Yulia said, it's much more easy to destroy 200, 300 megawatt power unit in comparing with the destroy of tens or 20s of small power units, also distributed by territory. And from one hand. From other hand, from the Soviet time, we have a very centralized system of generation and distribution. I don't know, we have a slide. If it's interesting, you can see it. But it's very, very centralized system. Now with the new energy landscape, since in this very corporate way, we have a possibility to generate electricity much more close to the people who will consume. You see it's traditional Ukrenergo on the bottom line, some nuclear power plants, big thermal power plants connected to the big grid, the local Obelergo with the energy distribution, and final people who is consumed. It's houses or industry. You see the biggest power plant and biggest generation connected to the top level. And most of the people now think that it's better to organize a distributed generation because we have a distributed consumption. We have not anymore really distributed cities. It's everything distributed. And it's reasonable if you have the same technologies, efficient technology, to be production and generation of electricity much more close to the real users. To implement this technology and to organize the stability of grid, it's necessary to use a digital solution, digital energy technologies. It's not the future, it's what exactly implemented already. We are not waiting for this, and we, all of us, energy community, not waiting for this. And a lot of private businesses now also install the distributed generations of gas turbines or piston turbines or solar or wind, and still investing a lot of sustainable energy because it's not just cheaper. It's okay. It's a question which we can discuss, but it's much more reliable and much more flexible from point of delivery and organize a sustainable delivery of energy. Come back to the topic, how we are prepared for challenges which we have every day. How we can be prepared? We organize warehouses in Ukraine. Very simple. To deliver the equipment from not waiting when the equipment will be produced and delivered to Ukraine with all of our processes, custom clearance. We organize our also distributed warehouses in Ukraine to be on a safety side, to organize a quick delivery of necessary equipment to our partners, customers, and companies who really need it or who was destroyed. Unfortunately, we already have experience when some our partners lost their production facility, or they lost even their warehouses, but because we have a big partnership network, we can organize a quick delivery, and local warehouses close to the areas where it's really necessary.
Mihailo, you mentioned that it's also requested to a lot of corporates, legal entities, big consumption, big companies which consume energy to build their own solutions quickly. How do you see these multiple creations of independent small power generating units for legal entities everywhere in the country? How do you match it with a more, I would say, a blueprint of the production center, of the production organization in the country? How you will reconcile? Because now it's urgency, so everybody is trying to find solutions. We know a lot of companies building their own solutions, you mentioned it, but how you reconcile at the end between, for you as providers of solutions and you as a producer, how you reconcile? It's not the chaos at the end of the day because everybody will create its own unit.
Okay, before I give the place to Yulia, you know this. We have a consumer, yes, who is consumes electricity, and the new name it's a prosumer. Prosumer. It's some legal entity or even the private houses who can consume and produce electricity. It's only possible to simply connect such kind of generation, small generation to the grid, just based on the digital technologies. And without the digitalization of our grid, distribution, generations, because it's all of this system, big system, it needs to be synchronized. They cannot work independently. They need to be synchronized on the country level, and because our country connected to the Europe, we need to be also synchronized with the Europe and not organize any problematic on a Europe level. It means our network is our electrical grid fully synchronized with the Europe today.
Technology, the way.
Technology. It means we are use a standard. Okay, in our case, Schneider Electric technology to synchronize local prosumers all on, 30, 20 kilowatt of generation with a global network. And it's only possible with a digital solution, which we typically deliver to our prosumers in Ukraine.
And Yulia, you how do you see this? It's not a competition, but it's a contribution of the prosumers.
Yes, electricity is a unique product which cannot be stored, well, unless you have battery storages. That's why we all now develop battery storage systems. Because ideally, when the sun shines, you store the electricity and then you use it during the night when you need it. The same for the wind. Ukrenergo is playing this crucial role of, keeping the balance and keeping the frequency, because if Ukraine as a country doesn't keep the frequency, then the whole Europe collapses, and consumers at the end of the chain, meaning like Spain and Portugal, they will feel it and they will complain to their countries and say, cut Ukraine, cut off. Yeah, so we have to be responsible, and Ukrenergo is playing this role in connecting, giving the orders who produces, who switches off, who switches on. But now we have, system is balanced, but when we have deficit, everyone is welcome, So it's Ukrenergo basically who decides whom to switch on and whom to switch off.
No, I would like to add, because this is a competition. There are no competition in Ukraine now. I assure that all Ukrainians, and we are Ukrainians, and representative even international business, we have a strong support from our headquarters, and even I am in some cases called to other formal before the war competitors and try to push them to do something, openly speaking, because we need to survive, first of all. And it's not a question of competition. If you lack of energy generation in Ukraine, each of megawatt is accountable. And even if a small villages, if you have some 30 kilowatt solar panel, it's also accountable. It's a help to really organize the stability of whole the grid. Because we are as a country, we are connected to the European grid. And if we will be not stable, we will not be cut. But maybe you know more. But it will deliver the significant problems for all of the Ukrainian grid. The crucial topic, you mentioned frequency. The frequency, we have a AC voltage in our network grid, and we need to really stabilize this frequency. And without the additional generation, it's simply not possible. And we are ready, and all of the generation company, we are ready to deliver this and help to connect this additional production facility to our network.
We see through your joint experiences that you took initiatives at the very beginning to survive, and you created a partnership. You have a vision, a long-term vision. How both of you contribute, you collaborate with also I would say the more public government initiatives toward this energy independence, decentralized and so on. So what's your contribution or your ideas or how do you operate with the government on those topics?
You will comment
on that? I think now we have the best relations with the government ever, because we are all in the same boat and we have one common enemy, and this enemy is outside of Ukraine, in the north. And we are understanding each other and helping each other for all our projects with all the partners. We need approval of the ministry, because basically now, for example, if we apply for a French grant from the French fund, we need a letter of support from the Ministry of Energy, from the Ministry of Economy. We get it, of course, because our projects are needed for the energy system. So really, we find now full understanding with the ministry. And of course, we do also what they ask us to do, because winter is coming.
Also, our relationship with all the government very open. In any question, just messaging in WhatsApp, and the answer coming in a few minutes. It's level of ministers, ministers of deputy ministers, it doesn't matter, it's just Minister of Economic, Finance, Energy. I think it's very clear, very constructive communication, because we have a common goal to survive. And really helpful, and even when we try to promote some programs, financial support of Ukraine, which need to be also, time to time, we need to be advocates of help to Ukraine. And when we need some support from our government, we immediately receive such kind of support. And as I say, we have a common vision. How we need to survive in short term, but also our clear vision for the future landscape, energy landscape in Ukraine, it's also very visible. And we expect and we do everything, I think, together to not just wait till the end of the war. We try to implement, find the money, find the financing to implement the modern technologies today, because it will help us survive maybe not this winter, but next winter. Because next winter also will come in 12 months. It will be more or less same discussion in 12 months. And we need to be much more prepared for the future challenges, because the challenges definitely will coming. But to be flexible with the grid, to be flexible with the generation, to be flexible with the efficient consumption of energy, we will be much more prepared. And this is our goal, which fully understandable on all possible levels, and of course in Ministry of Energy.
So smooth, efficiency, quick cooperation, questions and answers.
Support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Support. For the many people connected online, do not hesitate to put in the chat if you have any kind of questions. And the audience, of course, do not hesitate to interrupt me if you want to ask questions. You mentioned something very important, both of you, is that there is this urgency. Whatever we do today is critical, because we cannot expect, in other words, we cannot expect to rebuild, to accelerate the development of the country if we don't survive. So first, survival is very important. We cannot wait for a better time. It's procrastination is not the issue anymore, because we need to deliver now electricity, especially in your sector. I think cannot wait a better time. Unfortunately, we have to cope with the situation as it is. Urgency, winter is coming, winter is here, it will come back after, and so on. What would be for you the key point of focus, things to do, what is critical in your sector, in your activity, to cope with the urgency and to prepare the future? What is very important to focus on? We have many people connected from Europe, from France. We have a representative of businesses here. Talking about energy, what should be the key priorities? How we can help? How we can contribute? What we should do?
Two things I want to say. First, it's important to really deploy all our resources and get any financing that we can get to build a new decentralized generation and distribution, as I already said, because the time is limited. We don't know how much time we have. We don't know the plans of the enemy, but we have to do it as soon as possible. That's first, and IFI's resources and like EBRD, EIB, American DFC, IFC, they are all very welcome to help us build this like generation. That's the first thing. Second thing, I wanted to highlight what I was mentioning during the Women's Congress the other day in Kyiv here. That I think that social economic consequences for the economy of Ukraine of this war would have been like milder if there would be a better gender balance in the economy of Ukraine, because now the economy it really relies in the energy sector mostly on men. There are very few women in the energy sector, especially on the top management level, and when these men are being mobilized now to the front line, then we have to rely more on the resources which are available, which are mostly women. And women, yes, we are very well trained. We have very good education, usually. Sometimes, yes, but we lack experience, or we lack managerial experience. So we have to quickly do this so that we involve women more, because we don't know for how many months or years we have to run. So that the economy relies on not on 50% of the population, but on 100% of the population, and then the talent pool is much wider.
It's super important, Julia, what you said. It's a call for actions to the role of the woman in the full-scale invasion is impressive. The Ukrainian women, because they have to cope with everything. In fact, they have to compensate when their father, husband, son, brothers, uncles are on the front line, and they have to compensate and to cope with everything. And on the other side, in all the different sectors, we need also to trust them, to help them, to give them the keys. In fact, without any doubt. But it's impressive, and it's a long-term asset for the country, I would say. It's my personal feeling. The reactions of Ukrainian women to cope with business.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, no, for sure. Alors, in the banking industry, we have a lot of women everywhere. So it's traditionally here in Ukraine we have a lot of women active and at all the positions. But in some sectors it's more difficult, and it's important. Yeah, mobility. Yeah. Michaelo, you wanted to comment.
Yeah, and Julia started say about the resources. In example of women in the business, in the field, in energies, in engineers, also in real field who work with technical equipment. And when we say about the future of Ukraine, we say not just about some technology. Of course, we say about the people. We discuss about the people. And I can say about the company who's managed in Ukraine, we do a lot of work to build up the resources. Let's say in this way, educate all the people, education. Okay, women, men. Okay, of course now all of us diversify, and even in our warehouses work more women now than men, because most of the men are mobilized. But also we are very focused on the new generation. And around 1.5 years ago, I met with Oksana Lisovy, it's a minister of Education and Science, and because we have a lot of investment in high school, in universities in Ukraine, I said to him, okay, Oksana, how we can help you more in the high schools? He said, Michael, we have now another problem. We absolutely not on a focus on our colleges. In the former name, it's PTU. It's specialists for. It's
like technical college.
Technical colleges, yes. And 1.5 years ago, already during the wartime, we start to support these colleges, and we invest a lot of our efforts and also some money to build up this professional education in Ukraine. And I think now we invest around the 200 cabinets in different colleges, technical colleges, to educate kids 16 years old up to the 18 years old with actual technologies. Because today, these kids studying in our equipment, tomorrow they coming to the DTEK to make them operational work. And it's a fight, you know, the war, it's all time who's winning, it's who's in every war, who's have more resources. And our main resources, it's the people, and with our focus for education, for build up the future, not technical landscape, more servers or more electricity, but build up the future of distribute our knowledge to the new generation. It's exactly the focus for success of and survive of our country today and success of our country tomorrow. For me personally, of course, now this war is like between the North and South Korea. North Korea now it's a hot topic in media, of course, but for us it's definitely the focus. And the education and educate of new generations is our absolutely responsibility. And everywhere we can invest some money, time, promotion, doesn't matter, not just in energy, in all possible fields. It's our obligation. And I'm sure that it's our responsibility as Ukrainian citizens to build up and focus these resources for education and to increase the level of training of our new generation. And I know that even before the war, we cooperate with, not DTEK, but Metinvest, and we was participating in some Metinvest Polytechnica idea in Mariupol, which currently occupied. And this focus for the new generation, build up the new resources, high educated on a modern technology level, it's our absolutely, and we can do this. And we do it now, and it's our big part of our responsibility.
Thank you. So in fact, we talk about for now and tomorrow in terms of energy, we talk about decentralization, we talk about innovations, we talk about urgency of attracting all the financing, we talk about women, we talk about education. Before I will ask maybe questions in the audience, we didn't talk about veterans. Is it something you are working on, you are working with? Because, you know, unfortunately, we have a lot of veterans. Workforce is and will be, available workforce will be the critical factor after, together with energy for the resilience and development of the country. Veterans are coming back. They have to be integrated totally in the daily life, in the economic life. Do you work towards veterans? Do you have special actions to integrate them back?
Hello. Okay. Yes, of course, we work together with our mother company, System Capital Management and Metinvest. We are now developing a program of how to. Actually, we went to the United States for a study tour, and talking to veteran organizations in the United States, because we think they have very developed programs. They know how to do it. So yeah, we're looking into this very seriously, because this problem will be with us like forever.
30, 40 years, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And yes, if you do not mind, I also have a question for you, because
Yes, it was not.
Laurent, yes. What do you think? What the energy sector is not yet doing? What we should be doing, but maybe the opportunity that we're not seeing? And the second part of the question is, what do you think the banking sector, as a CEO of Focusing Bank, what you can be doing to help us? So where do you see the synergies?
Alors, I will answer first to the second question. In fact, it's easier for me while thinking about the first one, but you do a lot already, so frankly speaking. So you've noticed that I will talk about the banking community, and under the leadership of the central bank, we had a few months ago, we had a kind of, we signed a memorandum, and it's nice because it was not a question of competition, as you said. All among us, all the banks, maybe more than 20 or 30 banks, signed a memorandum to try to align our actions toward the financing of energy solutions. So it could be production, it could be storage, it could be. So it's not a syndicate, it's not a club deal, it's not a pool, but it's a memorandum on how to work. It's a willingness to develop financing. First priority, so it's unique, because we normally don't have these kind of things, and it was under the strong sponsorship and leadership of the central bank. And practically what we did among the different banks, we managed to focus first, because it's the most efficient, it's the fastest way to cope with the winter and the coming months. Each and different banks propose solutions for their customers. So it could be financing of production unit. It could be financing of storage facilities. It could be financing of energy efficiency actions. And personally, but for different banks it's the same. So we propose this to corporates, to big corporates with huge needs, but also to SMEs and also to households, because at the end of the cycle you have all of us as individuals, and we need also to be efficient to decrease the need of production. So I think that the banking community tried to organize and to mobilize the willingness of different banks and so on.
And coordinate between
and
yourselves.
coordinate, and we are okay, and we work. It doesn't mean that we will work under syndicates, pools, and so on. We want to be efficient, and I can tell you that there is a super close monitoring of this. I don't want to make mistakes, but as per today, the banking community received more than 2,000 applications for energy projects, representing different billions. More than 10 billions were already approved, and maybe a few billions of revenue already disbursed. So it's something concrete at the banking community level. So, and be sure that as you know, the banking community is very active in also contributing to continue to serve the customers. So we have the same customers, corporate, SMEs and individuals. We are investing a lot in the power banking network, under also the leadership of the central bank. And energy is critical for us also. So we are equipping, we equip all the branches, the head offices of independent solutions to reduce also, as a contributor of the reduction of the needs of production, we try to also equip ourselves. So we try to finance our customers, whatever the customers, and we try to equip ourselves to reduce the needs. But it's unique. Huh?
I am ashamed now. We had two speakers, but in fact we had a third very important and very great speaker, and we hijacked all your attention.
Now we can discuss about the security, about the war, insurance. We can open the really Pandora box now. But I assure that it's our common goal with the bank sector, energy sector, industry, real sector to really
telecommunication also is critical. Telecommunication sector.
Absolutely, yes.
Because you and us, without them, we will not be able also to interact. And
exactly,
work.
And you know that I think we support your IT infrastructure.
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
Of course.
Of course.
As Vodafone, Kyivstar, all of the banking sector, we are supporting. We have contracts to support in operations. But nevertheless, you see that it's our common. It's no competition. It's
cooperation. Yeah.
It's a just cooperation in all possible levels: government level, private business, corporate business, big business, middle business, small entrepreneurs. It's all common. We have one common goal. It's
the
just
power of unity. Huh?
Absolutely, power of energy of unity. Yes, we can play with this words, but it's exactly. It's all with all the people which we have spoke for the last 2.5 years. It's a common ideas with each of our colleagues, employee, in the past competitors. We simply can organize the common ideas and implement our ideas to help with some army on private, not on corporate level, of course. To help the people, to help the relocated person. You know, it's also a big question, humanitarian question in Ukraine. And we work on all possible ways to be close and to deliver the victory of our country, because we are sitting here in a nice place with light, with everything, but we are absolutely in a very simple situation comparing with our friends, part of our families who currently fight on the front line with our enemy.
Yes,
and we must use this privilege to really deliver the value for the future of Ukraine in our common cooperation.
Maybe, Grégoire, one question for you. Yeah.
Thank you, Laurent, and thank you very much, Julia and Mihailo, for this very impressive, exhaustive presentation. And what you do is very impressive in the current situation. We know there is no choice, but it's still absolutely impressive. One question on the topic you mentioned at the beginning, Mihailo. You mentioned 3 key points on the protection of the assets, the distribution, and also the efficiency of consumption. Is it something that you could elaborate a bit in terms of timing or the percentage of efficiency we could gain easily, or specific action? You were mentioning digital electricity. There are some questions on financing private projects. So I don't know if there are other things, or if you could elaborate a bit on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the great question, and I'm really happy that the representative of our embassy here, and because a lot of efficiency programs and projects which we implement in Ukraine based on the French financing, and such kind of financing really focused for deliver the efficiency, as example, for municipal companies like heating district supply or water supply, because to survive this winter, we need to organize the basic thing to be warm in houses and have a water. And to deliver this, with the help of financing from also from French, I'm not opening any secrets, probably, no? I think it's, but we have a lot of international financial organizations who really deliver efficiency in consumption with big traditional municipal companies who are not really energy efficient, as a wastewater supply company or district heating supply companies, government owned. And we do a lot of delivery of equipment, our technologies to really to be much more efficient, and in absolute value, in a normal before the war time, return of investment, it's up to the 6 months. It means it's very big savings, very big savings. In some cases, I think it was in one city, we close to the Kyiv, before the war, the return of investment just 3 months, you can imagine. It means, it was a real story with a few megawatts big pumps, efficiency and consumption of water, just 3 months and full return of investment. It means, as I say, we have a pretty not efficient consumption of energy resources in Ukraine, and with the support of international financial organization, also the governments, we deliver a lot of such kind of solution, even today into Ukraine.
Mathilde, you want to? Yes.
Thank you very much. I had maybe also, thank you for this very interesting presentation. I had maybe a more forward-looking question. I wanted to ask you as experts, what do you think, what could look an electricity mix of Ukraine after the war? So we know that probably nuclear will play a key role, and the decentralization is also very important, and that you have 8 or 9 gigawatts of renewables already, which is huge. But just better understand what, according to you, it will look like, and maybe what are the key challenges. Thank you.
We'll have a joint speech now. So, do you agree that nuclear will continue to play a crucial role? Yes?
You know that the nuclear, just 1.5 year ago, it was not green energy. Now it's a really green energy.
Now it's sustainable energy.
Sustainable energy, yes.
Okay,
yes.
so nuclear will play an important role in Ukraine. Both traditional nuclear and the SMRs, those small modular reactor technologies, and DTEK is also looking into this because, I mean, you can replace current thermal power plants with SMRs. So, but of course, then for this you need the war to stop. Hydro, yes, it will continue because Ukraine has water resources. Hydro, yes. Gas-fired power plants, yes. Decentralized generation, solar, wind, batteries, definitely huge sector, will be growing.
Yes, wind, of course. Wind, solar, together with the battery energy storage, you know, this new direction. And I heard that some biggest companies now looking at this opportunity.
Of course, building.
Yeah, I would like to.
Quietly building, yes. And about coal, there is no future for coal in this country. Definitely, we will decarbonize. Before the war, we committed to decarbonize by 2040, but of course, now we will do it much sooner. Yeah. So.
And it's important to attract the financing.
Of course. Of course. Thank you. I think we can organize one of the next sessions jointly, banking and energy, and maybe also tech. Whatever.
Thank you.
How to invite the financing with the local experts like Ukrainian Bank, to really organize a good financing of local demand. And of course, with the protection, with the war insurance, with all of the risk, starting from finance risk, delivery risk, implementation risk, project risk, all of this. Because biggest part of my discussion today related to the project implementation in Ukraine is not traditional discussion. It's not like, okay, what is our security for non-payment or delays in payment? Or, no. How you organize the safety of the people? What is your protocol availability of shelters in the particular site? How you organize it? How many meters you have from the production site to the shelter? How you organize the signaling before? Such kind of questions. And in the risk assessment, in the project risk assessment, we have, okay, 1/3 of previous questions just related to the war situation in Ukraine. And I know that, and I see during the risk discussion with different stakeholders, not just in our corporate, that our business world simply not prepared to deliver the big projects during the wartime. It's not like in Israel, as example, with full respect to Israel. But in Ukraine, we have a big territory. And in Israel, you know that, okay, it's some missiles coming in 5 minutes, but it will be just for a couple of minutes. And after this, we can come back to the work. In Ukraine, we all of this sleep in Ukraine. How many? 8 hours today night. My kids was in the shelter, and the same during the daytime when you need to execute some work, some construction work, some civil construction on a site. How you organize the protection? As example, if you build up, it's more the concrete or cement factory, you deliver this truck with the cement, and you cannot wait for the 10 hours when the missiles will stop, because the concrete, you cannot use it for the construction. And all of these challenges are in place. And for the successful project delivery, I'm very precise in the project management, But you need to mechanism and the instrument to secure and to organize relevant insurance of such kind of project. Okay, it's another story.
Yeah, it's another story because we cannot insure everything, but also, we have a specific role altogether, the economic actors in Ukraine, because we've demonstrated in all sectors, in our private life here also, that we are able to adapt to the situation. We find solutions. But our unique role is to explain this to our international stakeholders or suppliers and so on, because we will need international support in terms of technology, in terms of equipment, in terms of workforce, and we need to explain to them the reality of how we can organize ourselves to cope with those problems which are not normal ones, which are extraordinary ones. But there are solutions, but of course, we cannot secure everything, because life is a question also of mitigating risk. But we are here and we are taking our risk, but we need to explain this, so we have a role of being a kind of ambassador also, and we are trying to do this also, to explain the reality of the situation, to explain the tension we have between a war which is brutal every day, everywhere in the country, and between the life which has to continue full speed and even over speed, so we need to have both together. And sometimes when we speak to our stakeholders, suppliers, partners, and so on, they don't understand this duality, in fact. It's either one or the other. No. In Ukraine, it's both. So we need to cope with it. And I take your point, we need to continue to communicate on this, to attract also more investments, projects. And so on.
And to attract such kind of investment, we need to explain. And we need to explain on any possible platform, business platform, political platform, and even inside our corporate world, we need to explain this is possible to work. It's a really area of investment. Ukraine is the biggest European country. Really, it's by territory, we are bigger than France. And we definitely have a great future because we have a high educated people, we have a high school, now we are more and more focused for education of new generation. And by this way, by inviting of investment, we really build up the future of Ukraine. And it's our obligation and it's our absolute goal.
And this is what we try to do at the French-Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce by organizing this event and many others. We never stop organizing this, and it's important also to be a place where people, economic actors, share their experience. And it's also we try to be a bridge between Ukraine and the economic activity, social activity in Ukraine, and the world, of course, France, but not only. Thank you, Julia. Thanks so much. Merci beaucoup. Mihailo, дуже дякую.
Дякую, колеги.
Chers amis, on est un peu dépassé. We have to stop. Thanks a lot. And for the people online, thank you so much. See you soon.